Hey, what's up? What's going on, everybody? So, you guys have subscribed to my channel, so that's what's up. And I'm thinking about doing this new segment. We'll see how it goes, where we talk about a few of the current events. I used to do it like way back when, but then I kind of stopped. But I feel like maybe we can do this at least once a week, maybe more. We'll see. I was actually initially thinking about doing it as a live, but for right now, I'm going to record it, and we may change things up. We'll see. I mean, I do what I want on my channel. So this is pretty much sipping juice with Samore, okay? And honey, this juice is gonna be sweet. So when the way that I came up with the name is because when I was younger in high school, I used to always tell my friend, like, what's the juice? So let me give you some juice, girl. She's gonna be like, juice? What are you talking about? I'm like, juice? Because, you know, the news is juicy. So I always been the one to think about that. Then all of a sudden I started hearing people talk about tea and stuff like that. So I'm like, all right, y'all could keep y'all tea. I don't want no tea. I'm gonna keep my juice, okay? And yeah, we're gonna continue to go on and play with it from here. Hopefully people don't be stealing it left and right. We shall see. So what we're going to do first, we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about a few topics that I've seen lately in the news that kind of like sparked my interest. The first one that I kind of wanted to talk about was Kim K. And no, we're not talking about the real Kim K. We're actually talking about the song Kim K, which is by K.Michelle. So as we know, K.Michelle is one who likes to spark social chaos. Like, she just likes to make people upset. She says what she wants and she has no remorse, no regrets. And, well, I don't know if she got any regrets, but it don't seem like it. Because when I listened to her singing it, I was like, wait, hold up, wait a minute. This actually is some real deep lyrics when you really listen to it. I mean, some of it is just, okay, you're talking about drugs. But there are some parts which I'm going to go ahead and read to you because I found the lyrics online that it just makes a lot of sense, especially for the black woman who's trying to make it in any type of industry, really. All right, so here goes the chorus. It goes, wish I could be a Kardashian so I could be black. They ask if it's real, I say it's real fact. Don't get caught up in facts, cause ain't shit real. And ain't shit funny, so fuck how you feel. Pretty much with that, I mean, that in itself is a lot. You know, because with the Kardashians, you know, a lot of things that they've done, they get praised and, you know, people just love them. But if you see a black person doing it, a lot of times they will get called out, like posing nude all over the internet. Somebody does that that's black, I mean, it's a big bad thing. And they'll call you one slut, one hoe, one this, one that, you're ghetto. You walk around with boxer braids, like, you know, whatever. Like, the cornrows going back, it's, oh my God, she looks like she's ready to fight. I think I was watching not basketball wives, but football wives or baller wives or something. One of the girls came in with braids on, and everybody was like, oh no, she's ready to fight. You know, like, what? But then if the Kardashians would, oh my gosh, it's so trendy, let's everybody go out and get our hair braided back and just look amazing. We can wear this to the Grammys, we can do it, whatever. But if a black person does that, oh no, why she won't come up in the Grammys looking all ghetto? You know what I mean? So I totally understand what she's saying. And then it was another line that really got me too. She said, I gotta fuck with Blac Chyna. She's such a lion, no tiger. She's just a constant reminder. Niggas will sponsor vagina. I ain't tripping, no. No time, I'm too busy getting it on my own. So she's over here, she's saying, you know, pretty much getting it on her own. But she's letting you know that dudes is out here sponsoring vaginas. Like, they'll give you money, they'll pay you because, you know, you got the good or whatever. So she's just saying that she's like a lion. Like, she does what she gotta do. She goes hard or whatever, you know? And she went from Tiger to Kardashian and made sure she got that moolah. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I felt with that particular song, Kim K by K.Michelle. Definitely let me know what you thought about that song down below. Now, another thing that I've seen recently in the media is the Victoria's Secret models behind the scene. They were singing Bodak Yellow by Cardi B, and They said, if you want to, these expensive, these red bottoms, these bloody shoes, hit the stores, I ain't get them both. I don't want to choose, and I'm quit. Cut a nigga off. Don't get comfortable. Look, I don't dance, no. I make money moves. Okay, so they pretty much said the nigga. All right, me personally, I'm not really one that goes around calling everybody N's all the time. I just never, I mean, once in a while when I'm hearing it on a song, like, I'll just go ahead and sing along with it, which is, it's kind of fake a little something. I try my best not to sing stuff just because it's a song, because it's almost like you get hypnotized into singing it. And that's what I think these girls kind of did. They wasn't even, like, why would you post it if you know it was you're doing something wrong? And me personally, I don't take offense to it because I know that it was said while they was just kind of like singing a song, and that's a really popular song. So it's like you see white girls singing a rap song that's a top song. That's kind of what they was doing. They was kind of going with trends and just kind of doing that. So that's the reason why I think that they even thought about posting it, whoever it was that posted it. I'm not personally offended by it. I feel like today's society, everyone, because they have a voice through social media, they're going to get upset, they're going to get mad, they're going to put their little tweets out there, their little Facebook comments, so on and so forth, and then someone else is like, oh yeah, I'm upset about it. Now, if it was said a different way where they're like, yo, this, you know, just going off like, wait, hold on, wait a minute. And for me personally, another thing too is I feel like no one should be saying it. You know how people are like, oh, well, black people are allowed to. Why are you being derogatory towards yourself? Why is it okay to call yourself a nigga but nobody else can? Why do you want to be called something that somebody has used against you for so many years to bring you down? Why is it now you want to appraise and applaud and go hard for the word? It's just something that it never really made sense to me ever since it became a trend years ago. I just never kind of understood it. I never really agreed with it, and I always thought it was pretty stupid. And that's just kind of where I'm at with it. I just feel like people are hypocritical, and you go hard at other races for doing it when they're doing it in a playful, like they're just going along with a song, but you're doing it all the time, you know what I mean, to each other, as though you're just saying, yo, what's up, my guy, my dude, like you're saying it just like it's another word. I don't know, that's how I feel about that. I wouldn't chastise them, I wouldn't go in on them like that, like the way that everybody else is going in. And I kind of feel too like it might have been like some little internet like dork sitting on a computer screen, you know, in his mansion, who was probably the first one to notice it, spot it out, and just kind of see who the puppets would be that would continue on with the hate and the negativity. Just people will always find something negative out of even something that's good. We got to kind of keep that in mind. People are going nuts. They're losing their minds. There is here in the Bronx, there was somebody who recently had an argument with a guy, and the person ended up cutting their face, like from their ear all the way to their mouth. Like they were having an argument, you pull out a blade and he sliced her. And I don't know what the female looked like. They didn't show her face, but the guy was like some young black dude. And I'm like, this is the reason why they be saying, and this was like in a quote unquote safe type of neighborhood, or it used to be pretty safe back when I was younger. And it's just kind of sad to see that this is what we have come to the point where you kind of can't even say nothing negative, say something negative to somebody or kind of go against somebody without having to worry if they're going to like shoot you or stab you. Like, I be driving, sometimes I get pissed off, but I try my best not to look in a person's eyes because I'm like, yo, God forbid this dude just takes out a gun. You know, you never know what they're gonna do. I remember one time I did have my little road rage, but I try to keep it to the minimum. And the dude, like, he kept on, like, grilling me down. So I just, like, started looking the other way because I'm like, nah, this dude is bugged out. Like, he straight up was like, he was mad because, first of all, I was the one going, and he mad because he was trying to cut me off, but I didn't let him. So he was, like, right behind me. Then when I was parking up, he was, like, grilling me down. And I'm like, oh, no. Like, I just pretended like I didn't see him after a while and just, like, kept parking. My stepfather was in the car. But it's like, that's the whole thing nowadays. You can't even, like, really go hard on people because you have to be nervous that they might, like, go out and kill you or something. So the next thing I did want to kind of touch bases on was harassment at work. There's been several people that have come out into the light, and there's that guy from Good Morning America that he recently got fired overnight regarding his sexual harassment allegations, and it's been some crazy stuff with him. Like, he literally had like a little button under his table that he would press to like trap people. They also had a lot of other big name people that had came out, even Russell Simmons, who I never would have thought. Also, he had to like step down from his companies because of these types of allegations as well. So I'm definitely happy that more people are coming out to speak out about this, because this is something real. It's something real in entertainment. It's something real in the whole, like, you know, 9 to 5, I'm going to the office, corporate world. I definitely even experienced it, being that I was in a corporate world. I mean, I've experienced it in my day-to-day being a younger person as well, but I've also experienced it when I worked at my last job, which I had for about, I worked there for about 12 to 13 years. My son is actually 12 this year, and I worked there before he was born. So I worked there for about 11, 12 years actually. And when I did get my promotion into being in the corporate office, that's when things started to kind of go a little bit left, because the person that recommended me, he was very flirtatious. And, you know, I saw this as a big opportunity, because at that time I was a young mother, a teen mother, and going from a regular like worker to being somebody that's in like the corporate world, HR, you know, being a boss type of person, it was definitely something that I was blessed. I was so happy that I had that opportunity, which not a lot of people can say that they had, especially at that young age, like before I hit 21. Well, at that time I was probably about 20. And it was just really a good opportunity for me to kind of build my resume, which I'm not even like in that field at the moment. I mean, I just don't care about all that stuff anymore, to be honest with you. I don't care about the status. I don't care about the rank. I don't care about that. All I want to do right now is do what I love and get paid for it. And that's my focus, and that's my personal goal. But the guy who did go ahead and nominate me, if you want to say that, he was one of the higher ups, and he got me up there despite the fact that my attendance wasn't perfect. But it was really torture throughout the whole time while he worked there. He eventually got fired, and I think it was in part because of the way he used to speak to me, and we eventually got a new boss that didn't really like the things that he was saying. It's like everybody else, it was kind of like, oh, it's just okay. You know, and I didn't want to be the one to kind of say anything, because it's like, who do you say this to if that's the person that you kind of like report to and can determine if you are in that position or not? I needed the money, and I had a child to take care of, and I just endured it. It was a lot to handle at times, because it's like I didn't always want to be the butt of his jokes, or to hear, oh, we're going to run away together, or what you could do for me, or when his wife leaves him, he's going to take me away, or things like that. And it could be very uncomfortable. I didn't really want to be alone in any rooms with him. I would always try to like go away. Sometimes he would try to like come next to me. And it could be very uncomfortable a lot of times, but I endured it for, he probably got fired. Out of the 12 years that I worked there, he probably got fired the 10th year. I mean, so I endured it for years, all the way up until, you know, my late 20s. And, you know, luckily didn't get to a really physical or dangerous point, but there were times where I felt like it kind of came close, but I always made sure, even though it was awkward, I kind of walked away, or just kind of laughed and just kind of walked away from it, you know? I'm definitely happy that more people are speaking out. I never really spoke to anyone, but I know everybody saw it. Everybody knew that I was uncomfortable, but it's almost like it was just a normal thing, because I was at one point, I was the only black girl in the office, so it was okay. Or they're like, oh, he likes her. No, I mean, it wasn't funny, it wasn't cute, especially for like a 50, 60 probably 50, 60-year-old man to be talking to a young lady for like that, you know? If that was my daughter, I definitely would have, you know, gone nuts if she were to tell me something like that. But I never really had that kind of support system anyway, where I can talk to someone about it and not feel ashamed or feel like I was kind of like less of a person. You know, you don't want to feel like you're not tough because somebody else would be like, oh, if that was me, I would do this. But you don't know what you would do depending on the situation a lot of times. And that's just it. And the final thing that I wanted to talk about that I heard recently was that the Girl Scouts, they're doing a no hugging policy, or no hugging of like family, no hugging of, I think it's just like no hugging in general, which, to be honest, I think it's a great idea. Like, if they're pretty much saying, like, if you have a family member that comes over during the holidays or whatever, you shouldn't be forced to hug them if you don't want to, or if it makes you feel uncomfortable. I've seen different point of views about that. Me personally, I feel like that's a good idea, as long as they're not being disrespectful to the person. If the person gives them a gift or something, they should definitely acknowledge them, thank them, and smile. But I don't think that they should be forced to hug and kiss some old guy that they meet once a year that never calls them or anything like that, never checks up on them to see how they're doing, has never given them $1 or anything. You know, I don't think they should be forced to go and hug on that person. I mean, there's a lot of creeps out there, and it could be creeps even in your own household. That's another thing I've dealt with growing up, is I did deal with sexual abuse as a child. And it was my adopted mother, who was kind of like my grandmother because she was an older lady. It was her husband that used to sexually harass me, as well as there was somebody that my mom used to talk to. She used to always make me hug him, and I used to always feel uncomfortable about it. And then she used to make me like walk him downstairs so I could close the door, because she was too lazy to go downstairs to close the door. And then when I did, a lot of times he would start to like try to fondle me up, or he would try to kiss me. And I used to tell her eventually, like, I don't really like going downstairs with him, but I didn't really want to say why. But I felt like nobody would listen to me. And I definitely see why a policy or something like this would be implemented, and it would make sense. So what do you guys think about that? Would you tell your child, you know, if you don't want to hug Uncle Fly Guy, you don't have to? If you don't want to if you don't want to hug Great Grandpa, you know, especially for your daughters, I think that it makes a lot of sense. With the guys, I mean, heck, shoot, there's a lot of things going on with our little boys as well. So I'd definitely be asking my son, you know, I don't ask him anything to make him feel uncomfortable. I'm like, you know, I ask him, like, how did things go? You know, did anybody do anything to you? Like, you know, how do you feel? Whatever. But I'm not about the whole sleepover life. I don't let him go to people's house. I don't let him sleep over. He does have friends come over sometimes, but that's on their parents if they feel comfortable. And I don't do it. I take care of kids when they come to my house. You know what I'm saying? So, and I take them out. I'll make sure they eat and everything else. But as far as me, I have trust issues, so I don't trust him going out to anyone's house. I think he slept over. No, he hasn't slept over at anybody's house except my mom. So, or if he's with his dad, I don't know what his dad does. But on my side, I don't play that, you know? So that's pretty much my stance on these latest topics. Okay, so let me know what you thought about my S'more Love Juice session, and if it's a hit, we'll continue on. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to stay fabulous, live free, and soar limitless. I will see you on the next one. Later.